OpenAI's newest frontier model isn't just smarter. It's designed so that if you run it the obvious way, you will overpay and underperform. The real advantage in GPT 5.6 goes to people who treat it like a platform, not a single model. On the 9th of July 2026, OpenAI made the GPT 5.6 family generally available. Three models called Sol, Terra, and Luna. They're not just small, medium, large versions of the same thing. They're three different capability tiers with different prices, different reasoning modes, and different safety guardrails. This exists because agentic workflows, where the model plans, codes, browses, and uses tools over many steps, have become the main use case at the frontier. OpenAI's goal with 5.6 is to make those workflows cheaper, more controllable, and more powerful, but only if you use the system the way it was designed. GPT 5.6 is structured as Sol, the flagship, best for complex coding, scientific reasoning, cybersecurity, long horizon agents, highest price, $5 per million input tokens, $30 output. Terra, the workhorse, marketed as GPT 5.5 competitive performance at about half the cost, priced at $2.50 per million input, $15 output. Luna, the fast, cheap option for high volume, lower stakes tasks, priced at $1 input, $6 output. OpenAI is explicitly telling you, don't run Sol on everything. Build a routing strategy so most traffic hits Terra or Luna, and you reserve Sol for the hardest problems. On top of the tiers, there are two new reasoning settings. Max, deeper single chain reasoning, more compute per query for tough problems. This is an extension of the high reasoning effort idea from GPT 5.5 pushed further. Ultra, multi-agent mode. Instead of one long chain of thought, the model launches multiple sub-agents in parallel, default 4, lets them work on subtasks, then reconciles their outputs. On OpenAI's internal benchmarks, Ultra moves the needle. Terminal bench 2.1. Sol goes from 88.8% to 91.9% when using 4 agents in Ultra. Agents last exam. Sol hits around 52 to 53%, ahead of competitors like Fable 5 at around 40%. The message is that parallel sub-agents are now a first-class way to get frontier performance, not just a research trick. A quieter but important change. Programmatic tool calling in the responses API. Instead of the model describing every tool step in natural language, it can write small JavaScript programs in a sandboxed V8 runtime. It uses those programs to coordinate tools, filter large intermediate results, and adapt workflows. Customer reports in OpenAI's materials claim 38 to 63.5% fewer tokens in multi-step tasks when using this pattern because the code handles repetitive logic and filtering instead of burning tokens on verbose reasoning. This is a direct systems optimization to attack token bloat in agentic pipelines. OpenAI keeps emphasizing performance per dollar, not just raw scores. On some cybersecurity and biology benchmarks, Sol matches or beats other frontier models while using significantly fewer tokens. The pricing spread is deliberate. Sol at 5 and 30, Terra at 250 and 15, Luna at 1 and 6. That's a 5 times difference between cheapest and most expensive. If you treat Sol as your default, you're paying a premium for capabilities you don't always need. The economic advantage comes from routing simple tasks to Luna or Terra and escalating to Sol only when necessary. There are also real limits. On SWE Bench Pro, Sol scores around 64.6%, still behind Claude Mythos 5 and Fable 5 near 80%. On Toolathlon, Sol at 58% trails, Fable 5 at 61.7%, and Opus 4.8 at 59.9%. Interestingly, Luna edges out Terra on this benchmark. On long context retrieval, Luna drops to around 41% at large context sizes, and Sol is roughly on par with or slightly below GPT 5.5 at 1 million tokens. Better everywhere is not the right way to read this. The gains are concentrated in agentic coding, cybersecurity, and science tasks, with some trade-offs in tool-heavy and ultra-long context scenarios. OpenAI is unusually explicit about safety trade-offs. Sol's cyber safeguards block about 10 times more potentially harmful activity than prior models. There's a noted increase in severity 3 misalignment cases where the model exceeds user intent, compared to GPT 5.5. Some cyber evals are run with reduced safeguards, so real world behavior under full safety settings may differ. In security sensitive or high autonomy workflows, you will feel more friction and occasional overguarding from Sol. Here's the human angle I want you to walk away with. GPT 5.6 is the moment where using AI at the frontier stops being about which model is smartest and starts being about how you design your system and your habits. If you're a developer or a technical founder, the people who win with this release won't be the ones who just switch their default model to Sol and call it an upgrade. They'll be the ones who treat Sol, Terra, and Luna as levers, not brands. Build routing logic so that routine queries, simple transforms, and bulk work go to Luna. Standard coding, docs, and typical agent tasks go to Terra. Only the hardest planning, deep refactors, security analysis, and complex multi-step agents escalate to Sol, often with Ultra enabled. Use programmatic orchestration, whether via OpenAI's JavaScript tool calling or their own code to minimize LLM every step loops that burn tokens and time. From a career and business perspective, this is actually good news for humans. It means the edge is no longer just access to the biggest model. It's judgment, knowing when to escalate, when to hold back, and how to structure workflows so the model's strengths are amplified and its weaknesses are contained. Yes, Sol is more capable, but it's also more expensive, more guarded, and sometimes more frustrating. The smart move is to build systems where humans set the rules, constraints, and escalation policies, and the models execute within that frame. That's where the value is, in your architecture decisions, your routing policies, and your willingness to treat AI as a component in a larger system, not a magic box. GPT 5.6 isn't just a new model. It's a signal that the real frontier is now system design and judgment. The teams that treat it that way will get the most out of it.